everybody. Happy August 14th. Never before has there ever been, nor will there ever be, a day quite like this one. And we're so delighted that you're joining us here for our Baldwinsville Library card making class. This is August 2025, and my name is Missy Shipman with Missy's Glad Heart Studio. Many thanks to our dear Julia at the Baldwinsville Public Library for partnering for so many years together. And especially during these last 5 years, we have been offering the Zoom class, and those recordings are then saved in a playlist on the Baldwinsville Public Library New York YouTube channel. And that's a great place to check out ideas. There are over 60 episodes, and you can find out lots of great ideas for paper crafting. Tonight, we'll be making 3 projects, and Julia has a birthday in August. So I have a little happy birthday theme here with a goodie. There's no goodie yet, but tomorrow when I come to the library, the goodie will be inside the box. Another card is a fun open up card. Is kind of a matchbook design that you can add a gift card to, or a love note, or some cash, or anything in there. And it's just kind of a matchbook fold. And you'll see how you can create yours to be a landscape card or to be a portrait card. You could also have the focal image at the bottom. Right now, this bird would be standing on his head, but you could actually open up your card in this direction. So you'll have some flexibility with that one. And then our third project is this You Make Me Smile card with this sunflower. Now, you're in your kit from the library. I've pre-embossed it for you, but then I'm going to show you how you can transform it if you have some simple supplies, or how to make just a simple version with this very engaging textured piece of cardstock. So let's begin with our bird card, our happy little hibiscus flowers. It looks very Hawaiian or tropical. Yours might be either this green color, this lovely granny apple green, or this sort of peachy color here called pale papaya. And either way, your card is going to be cheerful and ready to greet a friend. You can put your own sentiment inside whatever greeting you would like. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how simple the fold is. I've already scored the lines for you. So you have this long piece of DSP, designer series paper, and we're just going to fold back on that short score line here, and then fold over on the longer end. And you'll see how then we just have this little bit of overlap here. And I liked that so that it could have a way to catch. We're going to create kind of a latch to make this opening or this closure. So in your envelope, you will find a variety of pieces. There will be a long piece of paper that matches, that it will be either a contrast to the green or a match to the pale papaya, or I think that's what this one is called. We have several different pretty peach colors. And this one, what we're going to do is just to extend this flap, we're going to add the long piece of cardstock to the flap. So to do that, I'm going to add a little a little line of my Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. And I'm just going to smooth that so that it's extending that flap a little bit. This one we're going to secure down flat. Now, I want to remind you, those of you who are watching me live tonight, thanks for joining in. Julia watches the chat, so if you have questions or comments, you can put them there. If I miss your questions or comments, know that I do rewatch to check once it's on YouTube. If anybody has comments or questions, I can answer those. And also a reminder that I do work pretty quickly. I do stamp and play pretty quickly. And so the intention is not for you to craft along all the way through if that feels too quick for you. What many people enjoy is watching and listening and laughing and learning, and then coming back to the replay to put their own cards together. And that gives you the flexibility to change it up. You may want to incorporate something from your stash for the card design that's different from what's included in this month's packet. Now, to make our focal point here, I'm going to just add a little bit of that glue again and center it here with the circle punch. And that's going to be added with a dimensional. Now you'll notice that the dimensional here, we don't want any adhesive at the top of this circle because that needs to open. We just want to secure underneath the bird here, or that focal circle. So to do that, I'm going to simply put a couple of dimensionals. And if you don't have dimensionals, you can use regular glue. But I do love that dimensionals will add a pop-up dimension and pop and height to the card. It just makes it look more homemade. And so I want to be sure I'm not putting it on top of where this other piece is. I'm going to place it down below, just 3 across. And then I can put my circle over the top, and it creates a latch here that will, so my top of the card can come in and out. Okay. Now this is designer series paper, which is a lightweight paper, pattern paper. It's not as heavy as cardstock. So I enjoy layering a piece of cardstock inside for 2 reasons. It's going to give a little strength to the card, a little more stability. And it's also giving me a really nice clean surface to do some stamping. I apologize for my shaking. I'll try not to make the camera move too much. I'm here in my dining room tonight. For our color inside, our sentiment, I'm using a stamp from the stamp set With You in Mind. This is a great sentiment set and also has some fun little coordinating images. But I love a stamp set that has some bold sentiment greetings, and there's a lot of variety here. I'm making a birthday card for our friend Julia. So I'm stamping with the color Shaded Spruce, and that is the color of the circle of cardstock that was in your kit. And you might be watching this and asking, I didn't know about a kit. So what we want to let you know is that the kits are available the week before the class. I bring them to the library, and it's just an assortment of the supplies to make the 3 projects. We ask for a suggested donation of $5 to help me cover costs. I love providing this as a community service. It's a joy for me to partner with the library. And for almost 20 years, I've been gathering on in-person classes at the library, and I'm so appreciative of that space. So this is a way I can do some give back and also really have fun sharing my hobby. That's it for this card. It's nice and simple. And what's fun again is the versatility. Oh, it's not what's it. We forgot to make the little pocket so we can add a gift card here or a love note, a photo. I have to find out from Julia if she's a coffee or a tea or a chai, what she likes for a little surprise or a pick-me-up snack or drink in Baldwinsville. And there you have it. So the support of this piece here and this white rectangle piece helps give more stability to the card. And there you have it. It's a sweet one. You can always add something clever to your envelope. We like to add something to the flap. My friend Linda Talbot, she's in heaven now, but she was one of my first demonstrator friends. And she used to say we were flappers. So we would always stamp something on the flap to give a design. So I'm going to pull out some cupcakes because this is a birthday card. Everybody loves cake.
Yeah, that's a neat trick to just put the flap over a piece of paper so that you can
Yes. And
paint
this is
it
going
onto
to,
the paper.
thank you. This is going to allow me to, let me just find a clear block here for us. This is going to allow me to stamp right off the edge. So it's going to be, I call it like wallpaper. I'll get rid of this. Whoops. I'm going to put, so the flap is here. And now I can stamp all the directions around the envelope flap. I know it's a little hard to see white on white, but what I'm going to do is ink up my image each time. And I'm going to intentionally angle the cupcake. So sometimes it's upside down, sometimes it's right side up or sideways, so that it's just adding visual interest to the flap. And I call this wallpapering when you go right off the edge of the paper as if it's extending onto the wall. So we'll just do one more over here in the corner. There we are. So now we have a fun flap. It's going to give a little bit of hint about what might be inside the card for Julia's birthday. Right
And
here. Again, it's coordinating that color.
it makes it look like it's part of another piece of paper, but it's really just that you added the design.
Added the design, exactly. So it's a great trick to add to using ink to add that pattern to your designs. Now, when I clean my stamps, I use this chamois. It's just a purple, almost like a sponge. It's a absorbent piece of chamois fabric, and that will just allow me to keep my stamp clean. And I put it back in my stamp case so that I have it ready for another project. And I share that tip, that step, because I often skip it on my own. I don't always clean my stamps, and it is a really good habit to do that so that the next time you might want to use pink, make pink cupcakes or a blue or a yellow. If your stamp is already cleaned, it just makes it a more welcome project for you. All right, let's move next to our happy birthday box. And this one is going to showcase a couple different stamp sets. And this is some fun paper that has retired from Stampin' Up. I do enjoy pulling out my favorites to share with you at the library. This one is just a really cheerful pattern. And it's packaged in kind of a carnival bag this time. I hope you'll repurpose this bag for something fun. It could act as an envelope for cards. You can slide your card. If you were to gift this card to someone, let's say you were making cards as a little present, you can make a few cards and then slide them in, and there's your gift wrap. And gifts cards are a wonderful gift to give to someone, especially when you include some postage stamps from the post office. That's a really happy gift for. I have friends, a couple neighbors heading to college this week, and it was fun to put a little gift box together for them that included some postage stamps. We want to encourage people sending happy mail. Now, in your box kit, there is a long piece of designer series paper already partly scored. And this we're going to transform into this three-dimensional box. To do that, we're first going to score on all of the fold lines. So I've already, we're going to, sorry, crease on all the score lines that I've already made. And sometimes it's hard to see them. You have to kind of feel them. And you'll notice here we've got several pieces. I might see them better on this side. Here they are. There we are. If you're interested in the dimensions, I'm happy to share these with you and I can post them in the comments. I don't have them for you right at the moment, but I can add them to our comments in the YouTube once it gets put onto the YouTube. You might want balloons. And if that's the case, you're going to fold in the other direction. I'm going to make it just like my sample here where I have these sweet little boxes. So where our cut lines are, or where our fold lines are, we're going to cut. Now, so I'm just going to snip on each of those lines. What I'm going to do is create 4 squares like this, 4 square flaps. So I'm looking for those score lines, snip and snip to make 4 squares. Here are 2. They're going to be 2 in the other direction. Okay. There we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's clever about this box is, well, I like the size of it too. There's lots of things that are clever about it. But one thing is that it's kind of an origami box. There's only a little bit of adhesive that we're using, and we're just going to fold over this top. So it's a very simple box to construct. And what we've done, what we are doing is creating a tray. The center section is going to be like a tray. So we're going to place glue on these 4 squares. I know the patterns are kind of busy, so it's a little tricky to see the contrast, but we're going to have the balloons be inside the box. So when it explodes, not explosion box, but as it opens, there's going to be those sweet little balloons inside. So we're keeping these flaps out of the way right now. We're just using the 4 flaps with the glue and these 2 side ones to make a tray. I'm just going to fold And then because this glue takes a moment to grip and bond the paper, we're going to just pinch it with our thumb and forefinger. And we're creating this tray. These other side pieces, they're going to make go across the top. And right now they're just out of the way. You can see that. So I've created a tray or a little boat. And you can put treasures inside there. And then this just folds over and over. Now, one side goes longer as you fold it over. The other half is at the center. So it's really your personal preference. We're going to create a belly band next. You can close your box so that that seam is in the middle or so that it's over at one side. I like to generally put it in the middle because my belly band then can cover it. Let's see how it works out on today's. Here is our strip for our belly band. Now, I do not crease when I make a belly band for a project like this because each one is going to be a little bit different. And we want to keep the belly band loose enough so that it can slide off and on the box. So I'm going to I want my crease to be in what's that called? The overlap part to be in the front because I'm going to cover it up with our circle. I'm going to pinch gently here and kind of use my fingers to slide and pinch on all of those four edges, but not too tight. I want to purposely keep it loose so there's flexibility. Once I have it kind of gently folded, I can go back and tighten those creases, pinch them to make them more straight and tight. And then that's going to be glued when we're ready. So we have this piece ready. We need to next get our little friends ready. And these are happy little circus friends. We have a lion and a koala. I can't remember if I think some of you might have a little, I'm losing the word. It's not a toucan, like a puffin kind of, or a toucan. I think it's a toucan. I can't remember now when I made my kits if I gave everybody the same two animals because in addition to these friendly friends, there is also a toucan and you might have him. You'll have to let me know in the comments. I'm a big fan of koala bears. You'll notice as I'm cutting, I'm using my left hand to turn the paper, to guide the paper, and my scissors are pretty much staying in the same position, a little bit off to the right so that it's not trying to be too tight and straight. I'm kind of gently how I would naturally be cutting up to the right corner. And my scissors are pretty much staying in that same angled position. It's the paper in my left hand that I'm moving to cut. You'll notice I like to leave a little bit of white around the shape of the animal. You can go much closer if you like, but you'll see how now it just has this nice white all the way around.
It looks so nice when you do it.
Oh,
And
thank you.
the first time I tried that, it worked really well.
Yeah,
Yeah, just having the idea of moving the paper instead of the scissors.
it really, really does help. And know that they're handmade with love. So here I snipped him a little bit tight there at his mane, but it's handmade with love and your gift will be so well received. So don't overthink it when you're working on projects like this. Um, but a good way to have that uniform is just to take your time and like we're suggesting, use the left hand. If you're cutting with scissors are in your right hand, use your left hand to move the paper. Okay, we're getting closer, friends. We have a piece here. It is a circle. And if you look closely at my sample, you see I stamped it to give it some texture. So this is an optional piece. Again, you might not have stamps that match up to this theme, but you could take a marker and stamp some sweet little candles or stars, or I mean, use markers to draw them. You could write the person's name over and over. You could stamp or write their initials or a little birthday greeting. But I'm just going to add not a lot of it shows really. Um, on the final project, but it just adds a little texture here. This is called tone on tone stamping, where I'm just adding the same color on top of the paper to add visual interest. Let me clean off my block here. I'm going to wipe it away and pull out the little star stamp to show you too.
Do you just use water to clean it off?
Yes, this you can use a wet paper towel, or if you have something like a chamois or sponge, you can use water on that. Baby wipes work nicely too. You want an alcohol-free wipe. If you have, some people have makeup wipes or different kind of wipes, just be sure that they are alcohol-free because the chemicals, you don't want them to damage the photopolymer stamp. So a trick is just to keep um, like a free and clear, or a baby wipe is generally safe to use, or not like a Lysol kind of wipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a cleaning one. Okay, so once we have those that texture added, can move this stamp pad away. And now what I would like to do is put together my belly band. So I liked having a little bit of this angle that is square. I just folded it without thinking a lot about measuring. I just wanted the part of the box to hang over the side here. That's going to help when I have the belly band. It's going to be a little bit wider now than just the belly band piece. Let me see if I can explain it. So instead of just this little pattern piece having a slide, I now have this whole part, and that will help it move. So we're going to wrap this belly band around. And we want to put just a tiny bit of glue. Sometimes I put a line on the edge of the back and the edge of the front design of the paper. This way, when it folds over, it's going to have adhesive here, two little lines of adhesive, but not in the wrong place. We don't want the adhesive to block up this so
Slider.
that it can't slide. This strip, we want this strip to be able to move, okay? Then we can add our circle, just again with a little bit of adhesive. And you'll see, because my box folded where the half is here instead of the 3/4, I have my belly band kind of resting in the middle, and that's okay. All right. Now
And
we're gonna,
did you
yes,
want
question?
adhesive under the flap? Did you get
Yes.
it?
No, we don't want to put any glue there because we want this to be an open tray
No,
that
I
just
meant the
has.
orange. I meant the orange flap.
Oh, yes, you're right. So I didn't, yeah, we could, that's probably a good idea. Let's put a little bit there to secure it along the side. Thank you. That's a good idea. Now our friends are ready to add on there, but we want to add a little message so that there's a sentiment included. And I'm going to use a sentiment from the stamp set called Charming Duck Pond. This has some really fun greetings. You make me happy is a wonderful greeting. And we'll use the happy birthday with this Bermuda Bay. And if you have a sentiment stamp, you can use that. If you want to handwrite the person's name, these would be really sweet favors for a birthday party, if it's a birthday theme, or for Thanksgiving when you set your place settings. It's a very simple design to make this box. You saw how quick it was, and that it just uses that one strip of designer series paper. It measures 4 inches, so you actually can make 3 of these from one piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper. So it's an economical gift box, and it's really cute. So we have our banner and we have our little friends. This guy has his party hat on. I think I tried to make it so you'd have one with a hat and one that didn't have his hat. He's just ready. You can see how mine are kind of opposite here. So your little critters will be a little bit different. And I want to have them pop up again with some dimensions. So I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back of the friends. And I want his hat, this little koala's hat can go right off the edge. So I'm just going to be sure I'm putting dimensionals more in the center of the body so that I'm not tied to having it. It's okay to hang over without adhesive showing. keeping the camera here. I'll try my best. Here's my little lion. Now I went ahead, I was braver and actually cut more on this lion so you can see more of his tail. I can go ahead and do that here. If you're comfortable, you can go in quite closely, again, using your hand to move the paper, but keeping the scissors in the same direction.
And thank you for
Okay.
having a lion because Leo is the
Oh, for your
Leo.
your month.
Yeah,
Cool.
because my month of August is
It's the Leo.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad to know about that. So we'll tuck it in, and then we have a little happy birthday, and now we'll add our Leo here. So I'm going to put it little dots just in his body. Some people, this is a fun debate among demonstrators and customers who enjoy crafting with Stampin' Up! Product. Some people like to use a lot of dimensionals. Some people more minimalist with their dimensional use, and they are nice and sticky, so you really don't need a lot of them. But if you like to use them and it helps you feel good about it, then put on as many as you like. So um, I'm going to just slide that over now to show you how simple that is with our happy birthday box. So it's ready to fill. Um, I have two to show you. You can see the difference. Again, it's not a big deal, but when you think about when you fold it over, when you close it, it's okay to have this piece be longer over this way, or it kind of centers. And there's no real rule about that. Okay, we are going to move on to our final project, which is lots of fun. It's showcasing this amazing embossing folder. And I wish I had it with me to show you. I should have packed it with my supplies because it actually is so large that it makes two card fronts with one pass through the embossing machine, which is really kind of fun. So I want to share with you a simple way you can make this card, and then I'm going to show you how I stepped it up by adding all of this color. In your kit, you have an envelope, a piece of this darling duckling, and that's what we'll use to make our banner. This time I'm using the stamp that says, "You Make Me Smile." And this is from the stamp set. See if I can find, yeah, the Happy Hibiscus stamp set. And this has some lovely greetings. Thanks for being so kind. Congratulations, and you make me smile. That's a great one. We'll use our memento ink. Go ahead and stamp our greeting. You make me smile. Now I'm looking at my sample because I wanted the banner this time, the little flag, to be over on the left instead of on the right, because I'm lining it up with the right side of my card. Before you do that, you can kind of fiddle and see where does it fit best with your sunflowers. Your sunflower is will likely be a little different embossing than mine. You can see because I got, see, is this the way I did it before? I'm trying to think how I would have cut it to, yeah, this is how it goes like this. It made this one big piece. And then I cut down the middle to make two card fronts. So you'll see this sunflower design is a little different from here. And depending on the placement of your sunflowers, you might want to put your greeting anywhere along your card.
You could
So
probably even go up and down with it if you had a
yes,
stamp.
you could. Yes, that's excellent. Maybe we should do that so we have a variety. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Let's do it this way. This one that I'm going to make is going to be a landscape. So we'll have a portrait sample and a landscape. That's a great idea, Julia. Okay. So now glad we talked about that. So I'm going to make it so the words are over on the left and I will trim on the right. You make me smile. Okay. So to make this sweet little banner shape, I'm going to there's a couple different tricks to help you do it. I usually just eyeball it like I did with the Leo project, but in this case, you can snip in to the center and then go from each corner to that center snip. This helps you make an even banner. This one's a little bit more dramatic of a flag. I won't fuss with it. I like it like that. But you can, I've cut this long enough so that you can hopefully have a chance to perfect the way you want the banner to be. Okay. So if we were to put the card base, the card together, uh, and you didn't have supplies or didn't want to complicate it by adding the color, you would simply add this embossed piece to the card base. And this is called a tent card. You can see it goes this way. If we want it to go landscape, it will just open with this nice wide fold. All right. But I'm going to show you how to step it up, and then you can make decisions on if you want to come borrow supplies and play with me, or if you have these supplies at home, um, or if you're happy with just the simplicity of the design. I learned this technique from my friend Val, and the trick is that we're going to color not on the side where it's raised up, but on the what's called the debossed side, the side where the petals go in. Okay. So I'm going to start by adding to my centers. I'm going to color in where the sunflower seeds are and where it would be a little bit darker. Okay. So I'm using blends. They're an alcohol marker. And it's funny, it actually bleeds through. So the other side will have some pattern too. But I'm going to just add, the yellow's all set. I don't need to add color to the yellow petals, but I'm going to go and look and find where those seeds would be. Like, right, let's see if I have the other side of this. And I can I don't have to be super neat because you can see it's going to change quite a bit and there's going to be added black. I think this is kind of a magic card. So we've scribbled in a little bit of that where the seeds might be. And now I'll take my green blend.
It's a smiley face.
Oh, you're right. Isn't that funny? Hello. Happy summer. Happy summer. Now I'm going to go where I think the leaves are. Sometimes you have to kind of angle it in the light to get the right position here. Again, I'm not worrying about it being exactly right or exactly perfect or clean. I just want to get some good color in there. That part I'm trying to decide if it's yellow or green. Let's see, we'll experiment a little bit. And you can't really go wrong. You just want to leave the main sunflower flowers as yellow. And I'm looking for places where it's dipped down, like where it's kind of like filling in the holes or the little dips, because that's the part that's not going to pick up any of the black ink. The other nice thing is you can go back and add color after you've done the magic black on top. You can go back and add more color inside, more green or more brown. So I don't have to be too worried about hitting it all. Let's see here, there's another leaf. So you can see how a lot of times you can take a card project and step it up, right? So we have a simple version here where we could add this and it would be lovely, right? When people receive it, it's very engaging. But here we're going to have a little more, a few more steps and a little more sort of engagement and curiosity that people might have about the card. All right, that looks pretty good. But the magic step now is to take a black ink pad and we're going to just swipe it across. It's a little scary at first, but it's just paper and ink, friends. So even if it goofs up, we have more we can make more. But I'm going to gently swipe across the top.
Whoa.
Isn't that like magic? Isn't it fun? So I obviously have just done half now, so you can really see the difference um, where the where the paper
Hands
is
up.
still up. That's where it's going to pick up that black. And where it's debossed, where those petals are little craters, kind of. Okay,
You're not
isn't it
pressing
fun?
down. You're being careful not to
No,
press down. You're just
right. I'm not
across.
pushing like this. I'm swiping across. Um, And then the more you do, like right here, you can see this part's not really filled in. If I want to spend a little more time, I just swipe over that a few more times to kind of get it to fill. But you can stop whenever you like because it's just a very distressed, um, cool look, and I think it's kind of like magic.
It is.
Yeah, very good.
And it looks three-dimensional.
It really does. And once it's dried and when the recipient receives it, it's very engaging to touch. And the ink right now I'm messy because I've been doing it, but when this dries, the ink won't transfer to anyone's hands. So it's definitely a card that people really enjoy the sensory experience with. All right, so I'm going to go back now. This is, remember the version, if you don't have colors or you really just like the simplicity, I want to encourage you. That's a beautiful card just like that. Um, or you can go ahead and we'll mount this. I do want to show you one more thing. Um, I'm going to use that pretty Calypso coral color just so you can see a difference. It's probably not a color combination I would normally show, but it's what I have right here that I can get to easily to show you. And what I'm going to do is do that same swiping, but this time I'm going to do it where it's up, where it's embossed. So the petals and everything are sitting up right now on my paper. I'm just going to swipe lightly. And what I'm doing is, this pad is really juicy, but what I'm doing is hitting those parts that are high with some ink. So you might not have all the supplies, but you might have an ink pad. You can transform your plain piece with that simple ink step. You don't want to push too hard, and my ink pad is really juicy tonight, so it's a little bit dramatic. But isn't that a fun effect?
Yeah.
And that's where I chose to swipe on where the petals are sitting up. So instead of covering the area, the negative space, I'm hitting those raised pieces. So that's another way you could change your paper. But let's go ahead and complete this one. And I have a nice piece of vanilla for your inside of your card. So we'll go ahead and glue this. Usually I stamp before I glue layers in, but I'm gonna go for it right now. Put it in. And you could use another one of those big greetings. Um, the font isn't quite the same. Actually, let's see. We used the You Make Me Smile. So on the inside, I could put thanks for being so kind, and that would match the this greeting in terms of the font. I do really like the big bold greetings in the other set, but let's go so that the font will match. This is kind of a fun thing to do. We'll just take the memento again, our black ink. And my card is a landscape card. And we'll stamp thanks for being so kind. So it says, has a greeting that coordinates outside and inside the card. There we go. Thanks for being so kind. On the outside now, we're going to layer this. I did not use dimensionals, or did I? No, I did not use dimensionals. I just chose to um, pop this greeting up, but this layer I'm going to put glue on. Now remember, it's got all kinds of bumps on it. So when we put the adhesive on, we're going to layer it in, and then we have to give a little more pressure to help it bond because this paper is really, really bumpy now. I think I did it. Let's do it this way. There we go. Now, last week I was at the YMCA with 171 beautiful campers making some projects. And one of them was a project where we were adhering paper like a square to another piece of paper, and it had a lot going on. So I shared the tip with them is if your paper is bumpy or kind of warpy, a trick is to just turn it upside down and then really um, steamroll it. We talked about. You're going to just really press and push, and that's going to help that glue grab the fibers of both layers of paper. Again, I apologize for my little bit of shaky tonight. There we are. So now that's helping it. Just have to be patient. This glue is so wonderful, but it does need a little bit of time to grab. There we are. And then we'll finish by adding our greeting. I'm going to pop it up with a couple dimensionals.
Now, do you never have trouble with the inks that you've put onto the pad there, getting onto the paper that you have on top of it? Or is the Stampin' Up! Ink a special kind that doesn't do that?
You mean that would transfer like here to
Yeah,
another? Yeah,
exactly.
it's dried enough. If I, it is a caution. It just dries very quickly and this is absorbed into here. But if I worked at it, I certainly probably could have done that. So that's a caution. A better idea would have been for me to pull this away, right?
Ah,
And have a clear spot and then push down. You don't want any glue here. You don't want that's a smart reminder, Juliet. You really don't want to have other things that could contaminate it. Okay. Great. Well, I'll go ahead and
I
pull
know
that
that
away. So
happens to me. I didn't know if it
yeah,
ever.
no, you're right. And the Stampin' Up! Ink, it's the classic ink and it is wet. So, but it dries quickly. So again, but that's a great thing to have as a consideration. I'm going to put both those side by side so you can see the portrait and the landscape. A reminder of how we can just really alter an embossed piece of cardstock simply with one color ink. And I'll bring in our other projects from tonight. We have our sweet happy birthday box and a lovely birthday card. Remember, yours might be a different color pattern. You might have the granny apple green or the pretty peach parfait. But I've had a lot of fun tonight. Wishing you a happy birthday month, Julia, and enjoying crafting together. I hope everyone has a happy August. I will be at the library tomorrow morning, August 15th, for our in person Let's Kit Together class and invite you to be a part of that. We still have spots, and I always welcome you to come or bring a friend or make a new friend. And I'll look forward to next month here with Julia on Zoom and Facebook and YouTube to share our paper crafting fun. Thanks, everybody. Thank
Okay.
you, Julia.
Thank you, Missy.